はい、皆様こんばんは。今週も始まりました Cardano Radio。いや、先週アダムたくさんいい話をしてくれましたね。ねえ、本当にもうやっぱりなんだろうね、その心臓部というか内部で一生懸命頑張ってくれてる人がいるとね、僕もいろいろ話をしてて楽しいですよ。じゃあもうね、早速また今週も読んでみたいと思います。我らのアダム D を言いましょう。Hey Adam, thanks for coming back.
Hey Chris, good to see you again.
Yeah, so we had a great conversation talking about government actions and DREPs and stuff like that, and thank you. It was good input for me too. So the last episode was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it. So happy to be back again.
Yeah. So this week, I wanted to kind of pivot to different direction and talk a little bit about what you've been doing and all the the midnight tour and stuff like that, and I was able to join your team and I had a lot of fun too. So if you can give me the insights about the technicality and the stuff you've been doing with the Hydra vending machines. I mean, the first time before I actually talked to you was I think it was a Singapore one. Was it the tokenomics was the big one, right? That you brought the big vending machine. Was that the first?
Yeah. We started the Hydra gamification physicalization experiment at Rare Evo last year, actually, with the big vending machine and people getting prizes and points and everything else. And then of course, we had the Socius team from Japan there, and they were like, "This is great. We need to have this over here at Tech for Impact." And then IO decided to also showcase the vending machine at Token 2049 in Singapore. So we ended up going to Token 2049, having the big vending machine, but we couldn't figure out the logistics to get the vending machine from Singapore to Tokyo within like 2 or 3 days, I think is all we had. And so we ended up doing kind of like a simpler, more stripped down version for Tech for Impact. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun working on that project and other kind of Hydra-based developments and seeing how we can actually use Hydra in production in the real world for both the benefits that it provides as well as, just kind of moving the tech forward a little bit and providing a lot of good feedback to the core team and things like that.
So, the Hydra gamification that you mentioned right now, like how did you guys come up with the idea before? Like, so you said you did it for the first time at the Rare Evo last year, right? Whose idea was it? Like, where did the idea come up from?
Well, so obviously it was born kind of after the Hydra Doom experiment that we ran the year before, obviously, and so we wanted to take that a step further because we had the cool like arcade cabinets, and so people could be playing in the arcade game and playing Doom, and but also using Hydra at the same time. And so obviously we were doing Rare Evo, which is an event that takes place every year in Las Vegas. And so Hydra is like the perfect place in a L2 state channel to do a what's called a local currency. So it's like your casino gambling chips. You go in and you give the casino your kind of your real money, your fiat money, and they give you a chip that represents kind of the value that you hold within their little ecosystem, which is just inside of that building. And so we thought, okay, how can we play on that? And so we thought, okay, like what kind of events or things do I want people to do when they come to a convention, right? I want them to go around and check out all the exhibits. I want them to visit some of my workshops or my panel talks. And so we want to reward them, but how do we do that? And so obviously we give them points, the local currency within the ecosystem, and we call it in America like similar to Chuck E. Cheese tokens, because you go to like an arcade and you play games and you get little tickets, and then you can go to the prize counter and win a prize. And so, but of course, we wanted to go kind of to the next step up. And so we figured out like, well, could we get one of these big fancy digital vending machines with a touch screen and everything else to actually give the prizes out and talk to the Hydra head? So, I mean, it was really like a combination of that, wanting to showcase the good ways that Hydra can be used in the real world. And then how to like also make it next level enough that it is impressive to people, right? Because if you're just looking at a number iterating on the screen of your phone or on your device, it doesn't really kind of give you that visceral like, oh, I interacted with a Hydra head because I now have this prize in my hands that I got based on doing all these things, and that was all wrapped up inside of a Hydra head.
Yeah, well, that vending machine looked, awesome. Of course, like you didn't have enough days from Singapore to coming to Japan, so you got to think of a different way. But like, it probably took a long time to move it so Rare Evo was in Las Vegas, so from Vegas to Singapore was like shipment took more than a month, no?
I think so. Yeah, I wasn't the one doing all the logistics on it, but yeah, like they had to lay it flat and put it on a container ship and then wait for it to get over to Singapore and then clear customs. And yeah, it was one of those things, like when you're dealing with imports, exports, and especially for these conferences where a lot of times the rules are, if you bring it in just for the conference, you have to ship it back out to the same place. You can't like daisy chain it because then if it showed up in Japan, it would look like it was coming from Singapore instead of Colorado.
True.
And that might cause, problems there. So I think that was part of like the logistics chaos there. But yeah, I mean, we're looking at that and trying to solve for that. We're still investigating whether or not that's a viable, like full scale business to take to the mass market and even to the non-crypto audiences. But if we do that, then obviously we'll have to source either multiple vending machines or find some more local suppliers in different regions to work with where that logistics concern becomes less of an issue. The problem was last year we only had the one vending machine and it could only go to so many different places. So we had to be selective with it.
Yeah, but all the good stuff that was inside the vending machine and how it moved, it was like really high tech. So I was like watching it on X and stuff and I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was so fun. I mean, like while we were developing it, I had it here at my house in my garage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I was doing all the custom work on it to like figure out how it could talk to the Hydra head and how it could release the prizes and everything. So I remember there was just this, it was cool enough just to like see it in action, and it has this little elevator that goes up and the prizes come out and go down and drops in the tray. But then when it actually like talked to the head, the Hydra head for the first time, and I was able to spend my points and get a prize, that was really cool. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you guys when you guys came for the midnight tour this year, I mean, I thought you were so smart because the gacha boom in Japan is like still big, yeah? And
oh yeah, I mean, you still see the gacha machines everywhere, right? And again, we were like, well, do we bring the vending machine over? But then we thought, we're going to a different city basically every other day.
Yeah.
And some of them being very far apart, right? Yeah. Like from Sapporo and Hokkaido all the way down to Okinawa.
True.
And so it was like, this vending machine weighs 1,000 pounds and it's 6 feet tall and all these other things. So it's not the easiest thing to move around. And so again, there just wasn't enough time between stops. So we thought, what would be fun for the Japanese audience?
Yeah.
And obviously, yeah, I mean, the gacha kind of craze in Japan is still there, to a very strong degree. You still see them in all the train stations and all the malls and everywhere.
Yeah.
So we tried to replicate that and that kind of that sense of instead of picking your prize, you're getting a random prize through all the little community events. And the other thing that was like easier there was that those community events that we were doing were very short, little one-day events, right? So you didn't really have... You didn't want to waste people's time by making them browse through all what the prizes were and then shoot try to choose one, which one's going to be the best one to choose, and this and that. So, kind of just giving everybody that came and participated a prize, and then maybe somebody wins the big iPad or whatever the big top prize was. Seemed like the right solution at the right time for the right audience. And I think it went over really well. I mean, you were there helping us the whole time. I had a lot of fun, but I always do when I'm in Japan.
Yeah,
so.
I enjoyed every moment of it, like Sipo-san and all those people and the other, regular people who came to the event, or like, whether they're young or old, they're all smiling and playing like little kids. That was like a great moment, I think.
Oh, yeah, everybody laughing and like, seeing what they got, and then, that thrill of victory and agony of defeat, like if you were really hoping for the big prize and then you got the, the little Pokemon mini Pokemon thing and stuff. So, like there was a lot of highs and lows and everything in between. So I thought it went really well.
Yeah. I think, something that just popped up in my head is like, of course it's going to be impossible for you to bring. So maybe you guys might have to rent it in Japan, but like, I don't know if they have the system in the States or how to call it, but in Japan, we call it UFO catcher. Do they have it in the States?
No, I'm not familiar.
Well, it's like if you search it on the YouTube, it comes up right away. So it's like basically you put in, when you go to the game center or the arcade, you just put in your coins, right? And there's like a crane on top, and you just move it left and right, and it goes down and picks up the prize, and it puts it down, and it comes out of the.
Oh yeah, we call it a claw machine.
Yeah, same thing, claw machine. So. And, that's pretty popular in Japan, too. So, like version 3 of that UFO catcher. In Japan, you say UFO catcher, the claw machine. But if you guys can do that, that'll be great, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like what I would really love is when we have one of these big events like Tech for Impact or Token 2049 to really do like a whole actual arcade, and a Japanese style arcade where there's, game machines where you can win a box of ramen, and all the kind of other stuff that's weird for an American audience, but just different games that you can all play, and so you can go around and earn the points, but then kind of pick your game, pick your prize, sort of thing. But of course, all that comes with cost and logistics and figuring it out. But yeah, it would definitely be an exciting kind of proof of concept for it, running like a full large scale arcade in a Hydra head instead of just like a singular game with a singular prize point.
So maybe, maybe there's some things you might not be able to say, but like for the future events, which direction are you headed? Do you have some idea of what you guys might be doing, or is it still top secret?
Everything's still top secret at the moment. We're having a lot of great conversations with a lot of ecosystem partners, but until the ink is dry and it's guaranteed, I don't want to speak out of school and potentially mess something up. So I'll wait, but I'm fairly confident we'll have a few more events coming up throughout the course of the year.
Oh, that's great. So I'll be waiting to find that out from you somewhere very soon. Yeah, all right. Well, basically, so that was what the Midnight Tour was the last time I seen you in Japan, and you won't be coming around this spring. So, any plans for Japan with the tour of the not Midnight or Cardano, or nothing planned yet for Asia at the moment until probably, I don't know, Singapore if it works out. But any plans or?
No, nothing fixed on the schedule, but obviously, I love to get back to Japan and Asia every opportunity I get. So I'm definitely looking for the right moment to come out and spend some time with, again, the Cardano community out there, and just enjoying Asian culture and Japanese culture in particular. So.
Yeah, because you told me for the Midnight Tour when you came, you said Okinawa and Hokkaido was the first time, or was it both the first time, or?
Yeah, it was my first time in Hokkaido and in Okinawa. So yeah, that was cool to get to see different parts of the islands and the different temperature extremes, right? I mean, we were in the middle of a blizzard in Hokkaido, and then Okinawa was like sunny and beautiful. So it was very cool to see that big difference in the weather. And the scenery and terrain, because obviously I've spent most of my time between the Osaka and Tokyo areas in my previous visits.
Yeah, I mean, this midnight tour was really crazy. I mean, it started out with like a big storm in Hokkaido, and it ended with a big snowstorm in Tokyo. So it was like start with snow and ending with snow.
Yeah, with that, brief few days down in Okinawa of sunny, nice weather. Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely an experience all around.
Yeah, but I really hope, like, I mean, we talked to the Japanese, SPOs and the other people in the ecosystem, that most of the events that's organized, of course I understand why, but it's really oriented in the main cities, right? I mean, Osaka, Tokyo, Fukuoka, maybe Nagoya. Right, but this time, the midnight went down to Okinawa, and also Hokkaido was a good option. I mean, Sapporo is a big city, but I really hope one of these days, like for example, there's a different island called Shikoku, right, down south, and because we did Kyushu's Fukuoka's there, Shikoku there's like Ehime, there's a lot of good things over there too, and Hiroshima and Okayama, and a lot of even Nagasaki is in Kyushu too, but a lot of places. So if we can like do more tours, and like of course we can't do like 20 tours into one time, but if we can like diversify the areas and bring the countryside in, I think that'll be good for the ecosystem too.
Absolutely. I think that's important for anybody that's thinking about planning events and things like that, is you get to a level of kind of saturation in a market where if you go and do an event in Tokyo, you kind of already know who's going to show up, and you've already seen them and talked to them. So really getting out there and going to different cities and different areas allows those people that maybe have never been able to travel to the events in Tokyo to have an opportunity to come out and get to know everybody and have new conversations and new ideas. So it's definitely important to consider when you're hosting events, not to get stuck just because one place is easy or comfortable, but think about branching out and giving more access to more people, because that's really how we grow the community, not by always going to Tokyo or Chicago or New York or LA or wherever the big major cities are. That works for some events, the Token 2049s, these big giant conferences. But if it's a tour, really get out there and experiment and go somewhere new every time.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like even finding out about Singapore's the one that they had, was it Tokenomics, you said?
Token 2049.
Yeah, 2049. I can't remember the name every single time, but I wasn't too familiar with it, but I couldn't make it last year, but looking at a lot of different booths and a lot of the posts that people were putting up, I was like really wow. The scale it was in a different different level.
Yeah, I mean it was crazy. I think it was like 5 stories is this convention center, and I only ever saw kind of the path to the IO booth where we were working, but even that was just full of all these massive booths with big dramatic branding and swag and everything else, and stages here and there. I think they had a rock climbing wall nearby. There's just like all this stuff to go. So I can imagine if you're just there to attend, you have to do like 2 floors a day to even see it all in the time. So there's definitely a lot there. So they're interesting, but yeah, there's also a kind of level of like, oh, this is too busy and too much that it can overwhelm you as well.
Well, I really hope I can make it down to Singapore this year. So if all comes out well and Cardano Summit happens too, then killing 2 birds with 1 stone would be the perfect solution for me. So I hope both happens.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we'll wait and see what the DReps decide then, huh?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll make it a wrap. Thanks again, Adam, for joining in this week, and hopefully, unless you run away, we'll see you next week again.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Okay. Well, you sounded like you were going to run away, but anyways, thank you very much. じゃあ皆さん、今週もアダムに来てもらいました。また来週も楽しいトークを期待してください。Alright, thank you so much.
The community knows DeFi's alive, liquidity streams. Cardano's building real world dreams. trading. Pools stay deep, stake, delegate, rewards to keep. Midnight with us, protecting the right. Privacy balance with laws and